welcome back to the Purpose and Glow podcast. My name is Pamela Nangobe, your host, and the Purpose and Glow Hub came around with two pillars in mind, right? So the first pillar is the podcast where we have conversations around wellness, business, and wedding talks. And then the second pillar of the Purpose and Glow Hub is a community, which is also divided into two. That is the book club, where we meet on a monthly basis, where we read a productivity book, self-help, self-development books, and then we come together and just converse around the book. And then the second part of the community is the collective, where productivity meets purpose. So today I am joined by none other than mom influencer. But before I give her a brief moment for her to introduce herself, I would like to ask if you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be notified every time we upload a video. So, Jenneth, thank you so much for agreeing to having this conversation with me, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, okay. For those who do not know you yet, how would you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi Purpose and Glow community. My name is Jenneth Iipinge, popular known as Momfluencer. I am a mother to three, and I am in corporate industry. I am also a content creator and as well as a YouTuber. Okay, basically that's just who I am.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think it's a handful, it's a mouthful rather.
Yeah.
And it's lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'd like us to go into a few icebreaker questions.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. My first question is, what's your favorite song?
You know, let me be honest with you. I'm not really good with titles, and currently there's a song that I like by, what's the lady's name? I think it's Jenneth Iipinge, and it's in Oshiwambo. It goes like wait. I think it goes like, it's Jenneth Iipinge or Mashongo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I love that song. It speaks about life, and you know, there is a lot of things going on there, and you're influenced to do such things, but you just need to be strong and do your thing and move on. Trust the Lord that He will come through for you and things like that. I like the message in the song. So yeah, that's the current favorite song right now.
I need to go listen to that.
Yeah,
definitely.
you should.
What were you listening to on your way here?
I was not listening to anything.
Anything? Okay. So in what's the one thing you cannot leave the house without?
I can't live without my lip gloss. And what else? What else can't I live without? That one for sure I can't live without my lip gloss. Yeah.
I thought you would say my phone since you're a content
Oh
creator.
yeah, my phone, obviously. Yes, my phone. My phone. I think that's the number one thing. Yes, and something for the lips. I can't.
No,
Yes, I
you can't
cannot.
stand dry lips.
I cannot. I can't.
The other question is, in what era, is it era or era, are you in right now, and why?
Okay, I think I'm in my peaceful era. Yeah, I'm in my happy, peaceful era. You know, I like the fact that I wake up every morning knowing that I'm not holding a grudge against anyone, and the fact that I know I do not have enemies, not that I know of, or just knowing that I haven't done anything wrong to anybody, that I haven't apologized, yes, or with intention. You understand? That is the era I'm in, and I'm really at peace.
Oh,
yeah, I'm so much at peace.
That's a very good conscience for one to have, knowing that you live by doing right to people. I think that's and peace.
Yeah, it's very peaceful. It's very, very peaceful, because it's a lot of work to just hold a grudge. It's a lot of work to get up and just say, oh, I have to now. I can't stand this person. I can't. It's a lot of work.
And I feel like it is that it hurts you more than the other person.
Exactly.
drains you.
Yeah.
It pulls you down. It holds you back.
And you're not knowing that the other person is just going forward, like they don't give
They even forgot sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And you keep the fact that you're keeping reminding yourself, you also get into a depressive mode.
True.
Yeah. So I'm in my peaceful era right now, and I love it. Yeah. Clap it.
No, please. This one I love. Yeah. And we're just beginning. Okay, I have the last icebreaker question. What's your go-to self-care activity?
Okay, I love journaling.
Oh.
Yeah. I like noting down how I felt at the end of the day. I love having conversations with myself.
Hence why the peace as well.
Yeah. I like to know that, because you know that it eats me up so much just to come after work, and then I sit and then I think to myself like, okay, but what I said was not right. I think I need to apologize. Or this what I've done, this what I did wasn't right. Yeah. So it's more of like self-introspection as well. So I always like to journal and just go over how my day was what was the highlight, and what did I like, what didn't I like, things like that. I think that to me is self-care. So that you can do better tomorrow. Yeah. You know? I feel like if we all do that, then we will live a peaceful life, and we'll just sleep. Yeah. I just wish, obviously not everybody can, we all can't be the same. Yeah. But it's baby steps. And I think I've realized that I started practicing this from mostly in 2023. Yeah. But why did you start practicing it? Because then I decided to change my life. I changed my life just to be the, you know, when you have little ones looking up to you, you want to do the best. Yeah. You want to be the best and just act accordingly, you know. So, and also just advice from my mom. My mom really keeps me going almost every day. She's like, this is not how a woman with children at home, this is not how, start going to church, do this, believe this, you know, the type of people you hang around with. So it's these little things that just add everything together, and it made me realize that I'm not growing any younger. Yeah. So I need to do it for myself first and understand it in order for my children to see that, oh, I would love to be like my mom one day. So it's these things that just make me realize I need to do better, grow up, and just know that the things that you're doing in your life, they are either right or wrong. They'll have a long life impact on your life or on your kids' life. Yeah. So, and also just, sorry to cut you, but also them seeing a true example from their parents is way better, and then the influence that will come from outside will not affect them as much, because they see you as their mom living this way. Yeah. So it's those things, and honestly, I'm happy for that. Oh, I'm also happy for you. And you know, journaling, I have like, I don't know how many journals I have, and maybe I'm going off topic. No. All right, but I want to say this because sometimes journaling is more like you are reflecting. I look back, and I remember when we were looking for a place to stay. It's very difficult to look for a place to stay in Windhoek. So I had noted down what I needed, and I specified what I wanted in that journal. I spoke to God like I was speaking to my dad, or was like, Daddy, this is what I need. I want my place to have this. I specified everything, and it was, I think 2 years later. He answered 2 years later. I know it took long, but it came. But when it came, it was exceedingly. I couldn't believe it. Because even the things that I've asked him, he ended even more. So when I went back, I was just like, look here, this is what I wrote. And this is a sign to say that he's working, he's not sleeping, he's still gonna come through. Every single time I go back to my journals or to my books and just read, I'm just in awe, like, wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm yet to go back. I've been, I can't say journaling, because I do like daily meditation, Bible, and then what I understand of that I've been doing for years. I mean, journaling as in journaling about my life, my feelings, that I only started a few years ago. Yeah. I'm yet to go back to read. Maybe I should. You should. You'll be surprised. You should write down if you are mad about something, write it down. if you're happy about something, or you bought yourself this handbag and you loved it so much, journal about it. Yeah. You'll go back one day and say, okay, I was mad about this thing, but today is happening.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
I will.
Yeah.
So for us to dive into the actual episode, and just for me to have a better understanding, can you please tell me about your upbringing, who you are, how your childhood was like, that made or shaped you to the person that you are today?
Okay. All right. So I grew up with my both parents in my early 90s, and that was in Ondangwa. And then we had to move to Ongodiva. It's not even something to hide. My parents had a divorce, and then we had to move to Ongodiva. So when I moved to Ongodiva, that's where I schooled my entire primary.
Okay.
Yes, I schooled at Ongodiva Control Primary. Yes. Control Primary School. I loved my years there. I enjoyed it. I think the streets of Ongodiva made me who I am today. Okay. Yeah.
In what sense, if I may ask?
Because of it, there was a community. You know, I don't think nowadays kids can relate to that. Like, my mom can go to work, and when she goes to work, there are times whereby probably don't have like sugar in the house. I'm able to go to the neighbors and say, please help me with a cup of sugar or something. But they are able to give you that. And they'll even come and check up on you. Are you fine? Did you do what? I don't think nowadays kids can relate to that. Okay. So I felt like where I grew up, my neighbors were my parents. Oh. Yeah. That's how it was for me back then. So we could play this at the neighbor's house. Who will eat there? Then we'll all eat in one plate. So it was that bond that we formed as friends, and it later became as a family. Yes, like my mom's job was more like traveling. So when she travels, I'll be with like an aunt, or sometimes with the neighbor. Yes. And then these people took care of me. So it taught me actually to say that your neighbor is somebody that is important. Yeah. So I think it also played a huge role in my life to just take care, to nurture. Yeah, and I think that's where it came from. So yeah, I grew up in Ongodiva, and then from there on, my mom got a job in Windhoek, and then we moved to Windhoek. So this is where I started my high school. I schooled at Yala, Du Plessis, from grade 8 until 12. From there on, life became life after school. Okay, so at the age of 18, I fell pregnant with my oldest daughter. Okay. And then I was contemplating whether I should continue, because after school, I had applied to a few varsities. Okay, I've applied to Polytech back then, which is NAST right now. And I've applied for nursing, and I think that was IOB, the Banking Institute. Yeah. Okay, so NAST was my first option. But with NAST, I wanted to do property studies so badly. So then they did not accept me in my first choice. They accepted me in something I totally didn't do, which was accounting and auditing. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't even do accounting in school. So then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go ahead with this. I think I had like a gap year. I was like, no, I wanted to improve one of my subjects. So I didn't go to school that year, because I was also accepted in nursing, but then I had to do it in Keetmans. I'm like, who do I know in Keetmans? I think I was just so afraid of change and going without my mom being there. Yeah. So then I was like, no, I'm not gonna go there. So then I like had a gap year. I went to upgrade one of my subjects. But in that time, I fell pregnant with my oldest. Yeah, I fell pregnant at the age of 18, and then I gave birth. Life became, it was hectic. But then it wasn't too hectic, because before I gave birth, I'm somebody that is strong and I look up to my mom. Yeah. My mom was like, we're not going to sit here and you wait for me to bring this and do what, you're gonna stand up for yourself and for that baby that is on the way. So this is what you're gonna see. Because my mom will be like, this is what I do. I'm selling kapana. You're going to see how I'm gonna do that. And because I'm not a person of know what will the people think, I joined the business. So every single day I'll set up my braai place there, my braai stand, and I start selling kapana.
While you're pregnant?
While I'm pregnant, yes. I'm selling kapana. I need to save up for my child's diapers and clothes and all that. I need to be ready for my child. So I started selling kapana almost every day, and I used to make money. Like a $400 every day. Ooh. Yes, close of day, I have a $400. And you know, I have to go and buy the meat in a 20-liter bucket.
Bucket.
Yes. That's where I'll go and I'll walk. I have to walk. I think the streets that street was long. Like you see Long Island, the Rocky Crest, that is how long that street was. With that bucket on my head, I will go and get the meat. That's my stock. I bring it, I wash it, and then I prepare it so I can buy and make money. And that's where I also paid for my school. Okay, then one day, I don't know what I had to go do at school. I don't know if I had to go pick up something at my high school, and then one of the teachers were like, "Oh, I see you're pregnant." I'm like, "Yes, I'm pregnant." When did this happen? I was like, "Oh my gosh, do I even have to answer this?" And then I think it's a thing of she felt pity for me, and she was like, "What would you do? And you just got out of school," and then she was like, "Take this $5, go buy a newspaper. Maybe you might find a job." So I took that $5. I did as she said. I bought the newspaper. I think I paged 3 or 4 times, and then I saw an advert. House and Home is looking for people, and all they needed was grade 12. I went to hand it. I didn't even go home. I went straight there. I went to hand in my CV because I always worked with my CVs. I went to hand in my CV. And then after a week, they called me.
Okay.
You got a job. It was not even an interview. We need you to start as soon as possible. So that's how it was. It was, I don't know if it was kind of difficult or maybe I was put in a situation whereby we are testing you. I don't know. But it was very difficult for me, honestly speaking. Just getting out of school, you're pregnant immediately. And I kind of did not have like my prime time. I didn't enjoy that, but I was actually happy to have my baby. And
by the time you were working, you got the job at House and Home. Were you already? Did you give birth?
No, I didn't.
Were you still pregnant?
I was still pregnant, and they hired me,
knowing that you were gonna give birth like in a few months.
Yes, and they hired me, and I was just like, wow.
And also, I don't want to forget your teacher that gave you that $5
to go and look for.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I was about to get angry at her.
Yes,
but then
but then you're like, okay. Yeah, these are the angels they talk about. Without even you knowing what is happening, and only now whenever I replay this, I'm like, wow.
Yes, because I was about to get angry, like why? Then I'm like, okay. Then you also obeyed.
Yeah.
You literally went to go buy the newspaper. Imagine if you didn't. You decided like, you know what, I'm hungry or pregnant. Let me go buy something to eat.
I bought that newspaper in I think the 4th or 5th page. It was that advert. I handed it in after a week. They called me. Can you start? I'm like, yes, I can. I told the manager I'm pregnant. She was like, it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah. And then that's it. I worked there. What happened after that though?
How long did you work there?
I worked, I think, for 3 years.
Okay.
Oh yeah, when I started working there, that's when I was like, okay, I'm making money now. I'm going to school.
Yeah.
So I applied. I got accepted at IUM and I did my human resource there. Didn't finish, but I did. I still have to pay for my degree. I only did until the higher diploma. Yes. So yeah. That's it.
Quite a journey.
Yeah, quite a journey.
But I love it. You are not somebody who just like, I'm pregnant, let me just let it be.
Yeah.
Even the fact that you had to go and sell kapana, a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I think I'll still do that because people don't know that that thing has money. And it's a thing of where you are, what society will say.
Yeah.
It's not about society. If you have to put bread on the table, you have to do it.
So kind of like a true mom.
No, you have to do it. Honestly speaking, you have to do it.
Oh.
Like even when I didn't have it, I think it was 2023. That 2023, I didn't have a job. It was difficult. It was really tough.
Did you have thoughts of going back to doing kapana?
There was no way I could do that.
Oh,
yeah. It's
at
the
place
moment. At the moment, there was no way I could do that. But if I had, I was gonna do it by all means. Yeah. But then I kept on with my content creation because I was just like, and my baking also.
Then,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before we get to that,
yeah.
What did you want to become growing up, and what are you doing now?
If there's something that I was always passionate about was property. Like I always saw myself as the girl that you see. I saw myself being in these overalls when we are going to do like a survey for them. I am there, I saw myself doing this. Hence, I did geography on higher level as well because this was my passion. I really wanted to be out there, property development and stuff like that. I saw myself doing that, but then I don't know what changed. I even asked myself today, like, what were you thinking?
Perspective.
I think so, yeah. But seeing where I am right now and looking back,
do you see yourself going to?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really do not think so. So with what I'm doing right now, it's really different because I'm working for telecommunications, and it's really, really different from what I am. Yeah.
Okay. So my next question, I want us to get into it. Okay. Your Instagram handle reflects momfluencer. I love that. I should say. What inspired you to step into that role, and also how did you come up with that name, and also what does that identity mean to you?
Okay. All right. So in 2020, at my previous job.
Is that the house and home?
No,
okay.
First it was house and home, then home co.
Oh, okay.
And home co. So I always used to like make videos of my kids and maybe lunch boxes and just little conversations that we have at home and stuff like that. And probably just share like what my day will look like as a mom. Excuse me, but not as in making a reel and stuff like that, like I do right now. So
I mean, reels are not a thing.
Yeah, no, not a thing. So I'll just, and then my colleagues will be like, "Oh, so how are the kids?" And I'm like, "Oh, look at what we're doing last night. This is what we did. This is what we had movie night, and then we made popcorn and stuff like that." And then my colleague will be just like, "Oh, you're such a great mom." And then I always come with these stories. Like, "Oh, we did this last night. Oh, my kids did this and this." And then one day was just seated and he was like, "But you know what? Because he was a content creator."
Your colleague?
Yes. I didn't know anything about content creation. And then he was like, "But you know what, Jenneth? Why don't you do something? You must start creating content around motherhood and stuff like, because the way you always take care of your kids, the lunch boxes, you put in so much effort in such lunch boxes and stuff like that." And I'm like, "But what do you mean?" And it's like, why don't we change your name to Momfluencer? And then you just create content around motherhood, what you love in your house, what you love doing, just these things. And then I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And then I think the first video I shot was for lunch boxes. And I see, it's getting there. And then after the lunch boxes, after 2 weeks, I get a DM from Food Lovers. I changed my name from Jenneth Iipinge to Momfluencer.
Yeah.
And then I get a DM from Food Lovers. No, I would like to work with you. I go back to him. I said, look at what I got.
Yeah.
He's like, you are joking. I said, I'm serious. I recently just changed my name. He's like, you see? You see? And I'm like, but I don't know. What do? I have no idea what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, I'm going to guide you. So it started there. But also I fell more in love. I became more intentional.
Yeah.
I became more present. You know, I think sometimes you need to, we all say social media is bad and whatnot, but see the good in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw this thing and being a mom and just how my kids became very attached as well, and not just attached, the bond that we are forming, they will come here and remind me, Mommy, but we didn't do this because now I got them used to this lifestyle now. We are now having movie dates, movie nights at home, like Sundays, that's strictly for family, you know.
Yeah.
And then they'll come and remind you, but Mommy, we didn't have this. And then I started taking it really serious. Like, I think this is really something I need to keep up with.
Yeah, by then did you have all 3 kids or was it just 1 or 2?
No, I had all 3.
All 3 by then?
Yes.
By the time you started?
I had all 3 by the time I started.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All 3, all 2? I think all 3 years.
Okay.
I think by the time I really started, I had all 3.
All 3, okay.
Yeah. And then, because even with my channel, it was just, a friend of mine came to my place when I moved, and she's like, you know what, Jenneth, why don't you document your life? I was like, documented? No, YouTube. I didn't even know YouTube. 2022. And then I opened up a YouTube channel. And then Vicky, do you know Vicky Monandimai?
Yes.
And then she was like, she also said, Jenneth, you need to open a YouTube channel because we don't have a lot of motherhood content in Namibia. I was like, how do I go about it? She's like, I'll help you.
Oh.
Yes.
Is it because she saw it on the...
No, she did.
The momfluencer, she saw you on momfluencer, or did she know you personally?
No, she didn't. Somebody told me to DM her. So then I DM'd her, so like I was told ABCD. Then I checked out her videos because I never knew anything about YouTube. So I checked out her videos. I started falling in love. I think I went back and then I watched everything, and I was like, yo, she influenced me, and I like the way she carries herself as a woman, and just around her house and family. So I was influenced, and in a very good way, I should say. Yeah. So when I saw this and I DM'd her, and she's like, no, I will help you. I was like, wow. I started, and then that's when I saw it's really something I fell in love with, and every time I do it, I feel it's therapeutic for me. So it's
Not to take you back, but you said you started being present as a present mom.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Being present as in, you know, when your daughter has got sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you are so, I think it's also the type of working environment I was in. I worked on commission. So I need to be at work.
Yes.
If my child has sports, the father rather be there. I want to be present.
Okay.
You know, it's that type. I think it was the type of work that I used to do that will always make me not to be present. Yeah. So then, even when I resigned, I think I was very intentional with my resignation. I was like, I know I don't have plan B, but I think I'm taking my family very seriously. And yes. So that's when it all started, and here I am today. And
documenting the life around your children.
Yeah.
Around mother, I love that. Like, because motherhood, it's a journey and a half. Just going to drink her coffee. But it's all worth it. Let's talk about motherhood, right? How you spoke of how your journey began, but how is motherhood? How is everything evolved with time now?
Yeah. Okay. Motherhood it's chaotic, very much. It's beautiful. It's I don't know. Sometimes it's very emotional also just to think about it, Because kids are not the same.
Yeah.
Number one, and your motherhood journeys with the babies is also not the same. It's different from birth, from raising them, and you do get the ones that are extremely, I don't want to say naughty, but they are eager to know things, and then you get the ones that are softies, and that's how I differentiate my children. And then you get the ones that are outspoken and the ones that think they know it all. So it's very difficult, like, to juggle all kids at once when they have different personalities. But then you make it work for you. You differentiate the type of child you are having, and then you know, okay, this person is this, they are like this. Because if you want to compare them, that's not gonna work. At least for me, it will not work. Yeah, because with my son, he's somebody else, I should say. He's all over the place. He wants the attention. He's a boy, definitely. He's a boy. And then you get my oldest one is a softie. Every little thing triggers. So you kind of need to be like, you need to be very conscious of what you say, and things like that. But you also want them to toughen up, and it's just very difficult to tell her that you need to toughen up. Yeah. And then you get the little one that is Mrs. Know-it-all. Like, I know it, and it's my way or nobody's way. So it's motherhood for me. I've learned to be patient. Yeah, and especially patient. And something I've been practicing for, like, was it 2 years now, is gentle parenting. Sometimes I snap out of it, but not always.
What do you mean by gentle parenting?
You see, when a child has a meltdown, let me give an example. As mothers, or let me say parents, I should say, if a child spills water or break a glass, you are going on. And the milk, and I told you, don't do it. But the child is also in shock at that moment.
Yeah.
We don't realize that. But you are going on this child. Yeah, I already told you, and what. And then the child becomes scared of making a mistake that you can also do or make, you understand? So it's a thing of, it's okay, the glass can be replaced.
Yeah.
The milk or the water can be wiped away, and we move on.
But how are you?
Because why are you scolding the child of spilling water? Something that you can also do, it's a mistake,
Yes.
So it's something I'm learning to be just a little bit gentle. I understand, how do you feel? How was this? Maybe we should do it this way and not like this. It's those things. Sometimes I snap out of it, and then I remind myself, no.
I asked because I thought you would not reprimand them just because you are gentle parenting.
No,
it's just a child.
No.
Okay, that's why I asked, what do you mean by gentle parenting?
You definitely have to explain to them. Like, I've noticed it works, because if you scold at my son, that's when he becomes angry. But if you sit him down and say, Mommy doesn't like this, we should do it this way and this way, he understands, and he will be saying it all the time, like, but Mommy doesn't like that.
How old is he?
He's 7.
Okay.
Yeah. But Mommy doesn't like that. Mommy said we should do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Because now if you scold, he becomes very furious. And then he will make that frown, and then he will go into his room, he will slam the door. Yes, like that. But I've realized, when you sit him down and talk to him in a calm way, he listens. Yeah, because I do, there is like a debate about gentle parenting with most of people. No, you cannot gentle parent these kids, they are not. But I think
they need a beating.
Yeah, they need a beating. And now that is a topic in my house, because the thing also, I didn't grow up with a beating. Yes. And now my partner grew up with a beating. So it's parenting conflict every single time. So every time we bring up this topic, there's always conflict.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the parenting the way I feel it's working for me, and then you do it the way you feel it's working for you. So yeah, for me, I feel with my son, with the gentle parenting, I think it's kind of working for me. But he's just a child as well, that is trying to, he's actually a happy child. He wants to experience things, he wants to be all over the place, and I don't understand it's a boy as well, honestly.
Someone once said to me, kids are curious, they ask a lot of questions because they are just generally curious.
Yes.
They never lived the life that we, and they don't know what we know. Hence why they ask a lot of questions. They are all over. So I believe that what's happening over.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, they are like that. But the one that is more like that is always curious, wants to know, is the little one. The little one is like that.
Asking 1,000 questions.
I mean, what is this? And it's the words for me. Words that I've never heard.
I know, right? I'm like, where are you finding these words?
And she's that person.
And the why. If they ask something,
why?
Yes. And you've got to have patience. I love to say it taught you patience.
Yes, you have to be very patient. And also, and I repeat again, you need to know, if you have more than one child, you should know the type of character. Yes, because you if you want them to be the same, it's not gonna work. Yeah.
We are learning. We are learning. So what's the one thing about motherhood that you didn't expect but now you are cherishing or you're coming to understand?
Okay, I think that's postpartum depression. Yeah. With my I think I didn't understand what it was back then.
Yes. Because it wasn't also a thing that people openly spoke about.
Like with my last born, I think I had postpartum depression. I was not okay.
Sorry, did you have postpartum depression with the first and the second one, or was just the last one?
Just the last one. Okay. I think just the last one. I don't think the first two were the problem. I think the last pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it because of the pregnancy, or what do you think?
I think what triggered is Omarundo. What is Omarundo?
What is Omarundo?
I think, you know, when with my firstborn, my mom was there during the whole journey. And with my secondborn, my mother-in-law was there during the whole journey. Now with the last one, I was alone with my man. And I felt it. I felt like I was not loved. I felt like the world was just against me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I was literally alone. I didn't know what to do. And anything and everyone else really just annoyed me. And little did I know it was postpartum depression. And only after I think I went to do more research. And because in that time, it was just, I felt like I just needed to be with me and my child. And I didn't need anybody else. I didn't want anyone.
The help? Was it not because of the help that you needed?
Yeah.
Or was it just a phase? Maybe?
I think it was, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
But I know I was going through so much. And at that moment, I felt like I was not loved. I really felt that way. The help was kind of there.
Okay.
My man was there to help. But you know, he's a man, you know. I think I wanted to be massaged also just the way I was massaged in my previous pregnancies. You know, by a mother that knows what they are doing. I think those are the little things I needed that I didn't get. And
okay, now I understand why you say Omarundo.
Yeah, yes, it is. Because if I have to look at it back, I said, Omarundo, Manchashi, no. But because I went in this, I didn't want to talk to anybody. All I wanted, it was just me and my baby, and that's it.
Did you get help? How did you come out of it?
I came out of it, and I don't even remember. I think for no. I don't remember. I really don't remember how I came out of that. But yeah, all I know is it was tough for me. It was,
I've heard a lot of postpartum depression, and it differs from person to person.
It does differ.
And some also, they say it takes longer, and some not. Some don't go through it. It just depends on the person. Depends from person to person. So, Question: how do you? You're a businesswoman, right? You are a content creator, business, you are a woman and you are a mom. How do you balance that? How do you navigate life around being a mom and all the titles that you have?
It's quite difficult and very challenging as well. You need to have a routine in place. Like for me, what works best, like at home, being a mom at home, it's having routine. Like I know by this time, like in my house, before 7 or by 7, dinner is served, we are eating, and I know. So when the kids knock off from school, this is what they do. They already know this is what I'm supposed to do by this time and all this. So I think for me, it's just a routine, and with content creation and the business, this is very unpredictable. A brand can knock on your door literally 3 days before they request for you to like shoot the content. In 3 days, it's really it's a short period of time for you to content and to create content and edit and give it to them for approval and stuff like that. So sometimes you're like, okay, fine, if I can do ABC and cut out something, then maybe I can squeeze in this, and then we'll see. There are times whereby, excuse me, I will decline either a campaign or I'll decline a cake order because I'm exhausted. I just need to fill my cup first before I attend to everybody. So it's a thing of you putting measures in places that works for you. Like if I'm at home, then I know by this time I'm supposed to do ABCD. But with content creation and the business, it's very much unpredictable. It all depends, for me, depends on how I feel mentally and physically. Am I fine? Can I take up this order? Can I take up this brand? So, because if I'm not fine, I'm not gonna take that up. I'm definitely gonna decline it and say I don't think I'll be able to do that. And in most cases, always the short notice ones. Those ones I will hardly ever take.
It's I like that you said you first have to fill your cup before you attend to other things, because if you don't fill your cup first, then you won't give the best.
I will not give the best. Honestly speaking,
I love that you prioritize that, and you also know of it. Cognizant of it. Because as an influencer, you want all the campaigns coming.
You want all of them,
but at the same time that you prioritize your sanity, prioritize you first. I love that you said that.
Thank you.
I really love that. What would you say has been the most challenging part of motherhood, and how did you navigate it?
You know what's the most challenging thing? I've mentioned it earlier. It's parenting, like together. When you have a different background, you come from a different background, but your partner also has a different background from yours. It's really difficult. You have different beliefs, I have different beliefs, and I want us to have our own beliefs, not you bringing yours and me bringing mine. So that's what makes parenting very difficult. Like at first, it was always, but we don't do this, but we also don't. But I'm like, no, we need to sit down and let's get our way. Let's do it our way. Because now if we have to follow of what your parents taught you and what my parents taught me, it's not going to work for us. So it's really difficult. As I also mentioned earlier, like I come from a background whereby my dad will not allow me to get beaten. If my mom beats me, it's because my dad is not around. Yes, then she gets a chance to whoop me. But
are you the only child? Sorry.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But my dad just doesn't like it.
Okay.
So it was there, I know, okay, fine, I'm safe. But now, then you get my mom that believes in you get to be with so you can be straight.
Yes.
Then you get my man side also, you need to be with in order for you to be also just obeying and doing things right. So now that is really difficult. I'm saying we can't, you are saying we should. So parenting is...
We find balance. And finding that balance is where it's challenging.
It's very challenging. There are things that we agree on, still, but there's still some things.
It's different people.
Exactly.
We don't all think the same. We don't reason the same. We don't look at life the same. Yes, you agree, you have common goals, you have we want the same things, the same values, but maybe we don't look at in the different upbringing also.
Yeah,
I should say.
Yeah. So I think that's the most challenging part, and also the only phase that I'm right now that I'm facing is my daughter is a teenager.
Ooh.
Even today morning, I was like, "Can you please iron my dress?" She just grabbed it and went in the room. I'm like, "What's wrong?" Nothing. And I'm like, "You can talk to me. What's wrong?" Nothing. Oh, I'm like, okay. Now that is something I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like when she gets in that
teenager mode,
yes,
or whatever.
I don't know what to do. Today in the morning I'm like, now what happened? I'm asking the father, what happened? Because you guys woke up early, you're in the living room. Because they didn't go to school because schools they're done with exams. They're at home. So I'm like, then he's like, I don't know.
Girls.
Okay. I don't know. That is one phase I don't know what to do right now. I really don't know.
Maybe I want to ask, what kind of a teenager were you, and what kind of
and maybe... Father, that's the question we were asking ourselves today with father, right? Before I came here, he was like, because I asked him, were we also like that? Then it's like, I don't remember myself being like that. I'm like, maybe I was like that, I don't know. I just don't understand. But I do remember sometimes when, the only time I remember is that when my mom promises something to me and she doesn't do it, I'll not talk to her, you know? I'll even be, if she sends me something, I'm just looking at her. And I'm like, so I was telling him this, I was like, man, maybe I was like that, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, you have to remember, at that age you must remember. I'm like, no way. Really, I don't know. I asked myself that same question today morning. Was I like that? Because sometimes I'll tell you, one morning.
Yes.
Yes, this is now what you are coming to see. Exactly what you used to do to me. You will have kids. Yeah, it's
I'm laughing because I have an aunt. I used to live with her. I think I was a teenager, probably my late teens towards my early 20s. I lived with her when I came from Timem. I went to live with her for university and stuff. So she always used to say, whenever we do something wrong, she's like, yes, you're going to have your own house and you will see.
And you will see.
And I didn't comprehend by then. I'm like, now?
We are seeing it now. Yeah, no, we are seeing it, sure.
Okay, I know you touched on routines. You said it's one thing that helps you and all that. But maybe can you take us through a typical morning in your house?
Okay. All right. Okay, so I wake up at 5 to wake the older one up to get ready for school. So then I leave the house by 5:30 because I start work at 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And I work really far from here.
Oh, from where you live?
Yes, from where I live. So then the younger two, they wake up around 6. So
it's the teenager and the almost teenager as well.
Yeah, it's the teenager wakes up at 5. So then 5:30 she's out of the house, her cab will come and pick her up. And then I wake up at 5:30 to get ready. And then by 6 o'clock when I'm leaving, the younger ones are waking up. But then before that, it's either I'll prepare lunch boxes. Sometimes I actually prefer preparing lunch boxes in the morning and not at night.
Okay.
If it's at night, then it's probably bread or something that wouldn't need me to prepare it, like put it in the pan, on the pan or something like that. Like if it's something like noodles or toasted bread, I prefer those things to be done in the morning.
You like them fresh?
Yeah, because imagine making noodles for the child the night before. And it's all like this. I don't know. I prefer doing it in the morning.
I don't really eat noodles, so I don't really know.
Yeah. I mean, no, they stick on each other. You see, like when pasta that is cooked, I don't know how I should say it, but it does that. So then you want it in the morning so they can be at least loose.
Okay.
Yeah, and a little bit warm. Yeah. So I sometimes do that in the mornings, or if it's something that doesn't require me heating it up, then I do it the night. Sometimes my daughter also prepares their lunch boxes, because sometimes they complain that the juice is either too sweet or not just sweet at all. So I was like, okay, you do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the lunch boxes, and then when we are gone, the little ones, the father prepares them just to dress up, uniform and stuff like that. We already had like uniform ironed for the week.
Yeah.
Yes. So they just pick. Immediately when they wake up, the father gets them ready. The other one waits for his cab, the boy.
They all have their cabs, different cabs.
Except for the little one, because it's just around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, so the dad just walks and then go drop her. And then, yeah, come home. After that, I knock off, come home. If I put my bag down or remove my clothes, just know there won't be dinner.
So I have to do it while
I have to do it while I'm still dressed up in those clothes, so I can just finish.
Yeah.
Because if I lie down, it's all over.
Getting your comfortable clothing. Yeah. Also like, I've switched on.
Yes. So I start to prepare dinner immediately. I knock off at 3.
Okay.
So I'm sure by 3:30, 4 o'clock I'm already at home, and I'm preparing dinner. So while I'm preparing dinner, it's either my man will probably help out with taking the kids a bath sometimes, but in most cases he does. And then while I'm preparing dinner, and then maybe there's homework to be done, then we have homework to do. Like for the 2 older ones, the little one never has homework. Yeah. So yeah, we do the homeworks, and then once we're done, it's dinner time. Either before 7 or by 7 we're eating. Yeah. So 8 o'clock to 9, it's family time. 9 o'clock they go to bed, and then we can stay up till whatever time. Yeah. But I don't stay up until 11. I think 10 o'clock, that's maximum, then I go to bed. Because you have to wake up early. Yeah, I have to wake up early again for that. Yeah.
And what does the teenager do? Does she have like responsibility?
Yeah, she does. When she knocks off from school, if they are having whatever they are having after school, in most cases we have noodles for them, because we only cook once a day. Yeah. Once in the day. So when they knock off whatever they are eating, either the food from the previous day that they eat it for lunch, when they knock off, she has to wash the dishes. She cleans the kitchen, that's her responsibility. And with the boy, he takes out the dustbin, and he also cleans the backyard. Okay. That's his job. And the little one, she waters the plants. Oh. Yes. Everybody has got a responsibility.
That's nice, because I thought I'm gentle parenting also in that department.
No. They have to do something.
Kids, they don't have any responsibilities. So
No, not in that way. Okay. I don't even want the kids, even if they go to my mom. Like the older one knows also how to cook. Okay. That is something I've been teaching her. She knows how to wash her clothes. She knows we do it in the washing machine, but yes, she must know these things. Yeah. I mean, these are basic things that a girl should know. Yes. Yeah. And also the bringing up the kids with a boy, I also just do not want to bring him up to be like fixated to say this job is only for girls or is only for. He should also know that when I finish eating, I'm washing my plate, I'm washing my cup, things like that. Yeah.
Before I move on to my next question, how's your relationship with your mom before having kids and after having kids?
I'm loving your question so much, because they're so genuine. I'm like pouring out just from.
And I love it. You are just expressing.
Because this question, I always talk about this. Before I gave birth, my mom was so strict. She'll not even sit with me and say, when you get your periods, this is what you do, and what. Or this is what. We never had those talks.
Was it because she was busy, or it's just you just never had those talks?
I don't think it was because she was busy.
Okay.
I think it was just that thing of, or also maybe not just knowing on how to talk to me and open up and say, because also they were also not taught those things back then.
True.
Yeah, so I totally understand, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
But when I gave birth, after birth, we became best of friends. Oh my gosh. I can literally call my mom and tell her I'm going through ABCD, and we'll talk, and then she'll give me advice. I run to my mom for advice, honestly, especially when it comes to motherhood and
life.
just life. Like I remember the other time, I think it was just getting too much for me. Like I just didn't know what to do. My kids are just throwing tantrums, and the older one is, yeah, it was too much. And I called my mom like, Mimi, I don't know, and I'm crying. It's like, what is it? It's like, oh, shwanga, just, it's okay, you'll be fine. And the things that we talk about now is, I'm just like, okay, wow. I never imagined that I can actually have a conversation like this with my mom. Like back then, I think she was gonna shut me down because there are things that I'll ask my mom back then, and then she's just like, she'll just have that, she will end that conversation. She just knows how to end it. But now she'll engage in it. And I see she's also doing the same with my little sister. They are open, and I was like, but maybe you never gave me this, you know? Just like it's different times now. And I really understand, but I love our relationship right now. I do so much.
And from that, what are you doing differently with your daughters?
Okay, especially with the older one, because I already had the girl chat with her, I think when she was 10, but we always revisit. One thing about me is I tell her that I do not want you to hide anything from me. I want you to be open with me. I want you to come to me. This is life. There's nothing that we cannot hide away from these things. Unfortunately, it's life, and there is influence out there. As much as you bring up your kids in a certain way, and you want them to behave in a certain way, there are people that will influence her that side as well. So all we do is pray for them. But all I want my child to do is, Mommy, this is what I'm going through. You know, I want you to tell me. And I think with that, it made her more comfortable to come to me and say, Mommy, I'm feeling this way. Mommy, I'm having a crush on a boy. You know, things like that. What do I do? And then we have the talk. Not the thing of I'm afraid to come to my mom.
Or shut her down. I have a crush, and you're like, it's not right.
It's not right.
Allow them to just express themselves.
Because you were once there, and this is something that you can never run from. The moment we never had these things, the moment you start running away from these things, you are gonna have unexpected news in your house, something that you wouldn't even want.
I love that you said, what do we do? I have a crush. What do we do?
What do we do? And you know, it's something that I told her that even with the boy, I was like, you are talking about crushes now. What is a crush? And then you'll explain to me like, this is something I can't hide. Because then I remember my daughter will always ask me, where do babies come from? Then I'll tell her, no, we buy them at the hospital. But that was wrong. Yeah. So then when she started growing up, she's like, but Mommy, I know where the kids come from. And then I'm like, where do they come from? They come from. I was like, yo, that one hit me so hard, and I was like, I think I really need to be open.
Yes.
I need to be open with her. I need to talk to her. I need to explain to her, and just go in depth. And she's learning these things at school right now.
And you also want her to learn these things from you as a mom, rather than
hearing it elsewhere.
Because it might not come. It might come twisted if she hears from outside, but rather than hearing it from you, at least you know you are doing the right thing, or you are telling her what is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have the best intentions. Who else has the best intentions?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's those things. No, we are very open. We are so, and I like it. With the boy, I was like, Daddy must talk to you. I'm not gonna talk to you. But maybe when he's 10, because the reason why I did it at 10 is because girls mature very quickly. And I just thought that I needed to do it when she turned 10. And I think I did it on her birthday, just to let her know this, you are now growing and things like that. Because you can start your periods anytime. Like I started my periods really at a very, very early age. So that's why I decided to have the talk with her.
Love that. You are indeed the mom influencer, because I love how you parent your children. I love how you also describe them, like you described how you said you have to know them individually so that you can parent them the way or who they are, not as a group.
Yeah, so true.
love that.
Thank you.
I really do. You mentioned something. All we can do, you said, all we can do is to pray for them.
Yeah.
That means you believe in God, right?
Yeah, I do.
How important is your?
I'm even getting goosebumps. Oh gosh.
How important is one's relation, or how important is God for you, or who is God for you?
That's my dad. That's my friend. He's my savior. He's everything to me, honestly speaking. I don't think I'll be where I am today without him. And I've seen things move every single time I ask for something. I do see the shift. I do see him moving in my life. And I've seen the blessings. I've seen the testimonies. Ah, my gosh, there's so many. I honestly, I'm here because of him.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you a believer because he's doing things for you, or is there another reason?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah. Because growing up as well, we grew up in a house whereby you need to go to church.
Yeah.
We do Bible studies and all that. So it's something that I grew up with from my grandmother. Okay, my mom didn't do that really more often, but my grandma was very strict when it came to that. So it's something when I grew up myself and actually realized, and I was like, this is the time I need to change my life. And then it made so much sense to me that he's just not a man above that died for your sins and all that, but he's more than that, you know. And it's not just because he's blessing you with all these things, but it's because he loves you so much, you know, and that you obey him. And it's really more than that. It's deep, you know. So for me, I don't know, man. It's sometimes it's unexplainable.
I love
It's
that.
just, yeah, it's really unexplainable. It's just the joy that it comes with having to know that you have somebody that is watching over you that you haven't even seen, you know, but you only feel. But it's the fact that you feel that you feel the presence, but you can't see him, and that's what makes it so unique, I guess.
Full stop.
Yeah.
I love that. I do. I know I say I love that, but oh, this is one of my favorite topics, but I love that. I love that you don't just see him as somebody who provides or just blesses. It's way beyond what he can give or is.
Yeah.
Looking, before we come to an ending, looking at your journey, what has motherhood or just life has taught you about who you are, about yourself?
About myself, what is that? But one thing for sure that motherhood has taught me is that you cannot face motherhood on an empty cup. That is for sure. Because, because motherhood can be very messy. Yeah, it can be. And including it's emotionally, it's physically, financially. I kid you not. If you are not ready for it mentally, physically, and emotionally, you're gonna break down. So I just want to say something. You know, by the time I started taking this motherhood intentional and just being present and stuff like that, I used to neglect myself. I would always neglect myself, and I'd be like, no, but for my child, no, but it's for my kids, no, but it's for what? But then there was a time where I said, but the reason why you're always exhausted and the reason why you always looked so miserable, you know, I did. There were times where I looked very. My kids will dress up. My kids will go to the salon, but me, I told myself no. I don't. My kids wouldn't want to see me like that.
Yeah.
You know. So I needed to do something for myself. So then that's when I started taking my maintenance really serious, and that's when I saw the glow, and I saw how every time I come home and my kids were like, "Oh, mommy, you look nice. Oh, mommy, you did this," not knowing that this little compliments and gestures really filled my cup for me to actually just face the day again. It's this little compliments from these tiny voices that made me. So I was like, I need to start doing something. So I needed to fill my cup first before I feel it. It might look like it's just you doing your hair or just you doing your nails. But just you looking at your nails and you looking good, it makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
It does. And seeing your kids see you in a happy place, I don't think there's a best feeling ever.
Yeah, and it also just creates that safe environment to be like, once they grow up, they'll be like, when I have children, I don't need to neglect myself. My mom was there. I think, like you said in the beginning, you are the best example they could have.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think it's just that you need to fill your cup first.
Yeah.
Emotionally, honestly speaking, you need to, and especially emotionally. When you're not in the right state of mind, trust me, you're not gonna be productive. You won't be. And I've seen that last week for myself. Just for things that are around me. You're not gonna be.
That was supposed to be my next question. What advice would you give to somebody, but you just answered it. I loved it. But as you were speaking, I remember I had a conversation with somebody. I think a few months ago, the person came to me and like, "Oh, Pam, I think I want to have children, a child specifically." And I asked them, "Why do you want to have a child?" It's like, "Oh, my mom is asking for a child. My partner's parents are also asking for a child." And then I told them, "I think you should not have a child from my point of view, because," and my answer, my follow-up answer was also that you should not have a child because of other people. And also one thing about motherhood, a child is one thing you cannot go back from. I'm not saying if I'm saying it right, because once you have a child, you can't go back and say, "I don't have a child anymore." It's a lifetime decision where if you have it, you've got to be sure, and it's got to come from the both of you, not because of parents and influence. It should be because of you. Do you think I was wrong in advising her that?
You were not, because she said, "I want to have a child because of who and who."
Yes.
And what about herself?
Yes.
Does she want the same? So I think most of us came from backgrounds whereby, if you are perhaps you are married and you don't have a child, they'll start bugging. We need a child. But what do you want? So I don't think there was bad advice.
Because she's like, "I'm the only child." She's the only child. So my parents, my mom, every time is on my kids, I'm like, you can never ever go. You can't even say, "I don't want this child anymore." Like
and nowadays is okay, I'm speaking now from a perspective of somebody that gave birth. I had teenage pregnancy. So when I look back, I'll be like, I needed to plan. I needed to do ABCD. I'm supposed to know ABCD before I brought this child on earth. But the child is here already. There's nothing I can do. We move on with life. But with her, she has got now all these things. She needs to look at, okay, fine, am I ready financially? If she's planning for a baby, you understand? Am I ready emotionally? There are people that have goals like, I need to get this before I bring a child into this world. So I think these are the things that she's supposed to ask herself. But other than that, if she's ready, I think she can definitely go ahead, and if she herself wants it, and not when somebody else is bugging you to say you need to, because you are now old. And no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I want just to go with a few rapid questions. First thing that comes to your mind, no right and wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes I will not ask why, but sometimes out of curiosity, I would want to ask why. Yeah? Okay. So heels or sneakers?
Heels.
Heels. Okay. Instagram or TikTok?
Oh,
I know.
okay, Instagram, because I recently just moved to TikTok. I'm not really good with TikTok, but yeah, I think Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the one habit you're trying to build right now?
What habit am I trying to build right now? Oh, exercising.
Exercise.
Mhm.
I had to ask that one because of the collective. One thing that instantly makes you feel like you again.
What is that? I think it's when I love my long showers. And when you're doing your exfoliating and when you come out of the glow.
You feel so clean.
You
right?
feel so clean.
I know. I
So
know.
yeah, I think it's that.
What's one word your kids would use to describe you?
What do they like to say? That's what I need to think hard. Okay, they like to call me girlfriend. And okay, but that's not a description. If like mostly when I do something like, girlfriend, you look nice. But I really can't pin it. They like to do those funny comments.
But overall, should now serious business, what word do you think that will describe you as a mom?
I think they will say I am a present mom.
Oh.
I think that's what they will say.
Present moms,
you know
please
why
come in
I'm
the
saying
front.
that? Because my daughter will always come. Almost every day in school, she'll be like, "Oh, mommy, my friends always say you are such a cool mom. You are such a what mom. You are always doing this for your kids and what." So as much as she can't say, they say you are a present mom. I think that's
indirectly. Yeah. That's what she's trying to tell you.
Yes, and I do believe I am. Yeah.
And because you know you're putting in the work.
I am putting in the work.
So, Jenneth, thank you so much for just being open, sharing your life's journey, and just coming here to share your journey. I know it's probably wasn't easy coming to me as a stranger. But thank you so much for just sharing your journey and just being open, pouring out what it's like to be a mom, motherhood. Like you said, it's not easy. It's a mess, but it's all worth it, I believe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really enjoyed this. And I loved each and every question. It was really beautiful. And it was also just nice meeting you. Loved it.
I'm blushing. Okay, thank you so much for watching and listening to my conversation with Jenneth up until this point. And if you are watching and you are still here, please give this video a like. And if you are a mom, please put a mom emojis in the comment section. And thank you so much. My name is Pamela Nangobe, your host. This is the Purpose and Glow podcast. Until next week, choose purpose and keep shining. Bye-bye.
Ciao.